Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I am your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs, and I'm also a legal document assistant, LDA, based in the greater Los Angeles area. Thanks for coming back for Q&A Wednesdays. Today's question is, can I handle my divorce without an attorney? Yeah, totally, but should you? That's really the question. So let's talk about a DIY divorce, a do-it-yourself divorce. This is where you are managing the whole process. You are doing it all yourself. You're going down, you're getting the forms online, you're filing them, you are handling anything that happens at court. You're reaching an agreement with your spouse, and you're getting that paperwork signed, and you're getting your divorce finalized. So yes, you can certainly do that, but some situations are easier to do with than others. If you and your spouse are doing a summary dissolution where you've met certain requirements and it's really one big set of paperwork, you're not doing it in stages and steps, you might be able to do that. If you don't have any children or property and it's a pretty simple divorce, and you guys aren't disagreeing on anything, you can probably do that on your own. Okay, so it really depends on the complexity of your situation. So what are some of the benefits of not having an attorney? And when I mean not having an attorney, I mean not retaining an attorney. When you retain an attorney, they become the attorney of record. They speak for you in court. They file all your court documents. They are the person the court speaks to officially, not you. Their name is on the header. Their name, their address, their state bar number is on the header of all of your divorce paperwork. So what are the benefits? Well, you're not paying an attorney's fees. You're not paying a retainer. So yes, you're going to save some money. It might, depending on how litigious your divorce is, it could cost, potentially be about $20,000 for divorce if you have kids in California. You've got a little bit more control, right? Like you can, if you've ever tried to talk to an attorney, you can't speed them up. They've got lots of different places to be. And if they've got to be in court with a client on Monday morning, but they've got an appointment with you Monday afternoon, they may have to cancel it if court has gone long. So you don't really have as much control. So you have more control of the process and of timing to a certain extent because you're not really at the mercy of your attorney's calendar or at the court's calendar. Well, if you got to go to court, you're always going to be at the mercy of their calendar. And a lot of times it can be quicker. A DIY divorce can be a lot quicker because you are driving the process, so you are making sure the forms get filed. Some of the challenges, though, can be that if things get really complex, you may be out of your depth. And it has nothing to do with your intelligence level or your training. If you are not steeped in family law matters on a day-to-day basis, then you're probably out of your depth. I've worked with some lawyers who have said to me, oh, I thought I'm a lawyer. I thought I wouldn't have any problems navigating this divorce, but my paperwork keeps getting rejected. Had nothing to do with their training or their intelligence. They just didn't do family law every day. They're just weird quirks and rules, right? So if it gets complex, it's very simple to have your stuff rejected and you don't know why. And that is so frustrating. You can also make more mistakes. You might be giving away things to your spouse that maybe you're actually legally entitled to, and maybe that's not the best decision. And then divorce is stressful enough as it is, and so to try to handle all of the paperwork and the guidelines and making sure your spouse is participating, especially in Los Angeles, even if they don't have to file a response, the court requires that your spouse, whether they file a response or not, files their financial disclosure. So it is a lot of emotional strain to deal with all of these issues by yourself. So here are some steps if you're going to just DIY your divorce. And I mean, use no one. No one. It's just you, baby. You and the self-help desk down at your local courthouse. You want to educate yourself. figure out the steps of the process. Go to the Judicial Council's website. They do a really good job. California does a really good job of explaining exactly the steps of divorce. Really good. And they point you answer questions. They tell you, use this form, use this form. It's pretty simple. That's a great place to start. Grab a DIY book. Go to your library. Actually, don't go to your library. Go online, because California will update their forms at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. Laws and rules change. They vary from county to county. So go and find a self-help book online. Maybe it's even actually an ebook that is updated annually. That way you can have the latest information and you can get some up-to-date guidance on how to navigate this yourself. Then you're going to have to do it all yourself. You're going to have, honestly, you're going to have to gather paperwork yourself, whether you're working with an LDA or an attorney. They're not going to come to your house and dig through your files, right? But you're going to have to gather your paperwork, and then you're going to appropriately fill out your documentation. Some of those questions are pretty easy to answer, and some of them make you scratch your head. So this is where a self-help book can help. And then you want to make sure you actually choose the right court, fill out the local form, file your paperwork correctly. Then you're going to be working with your spouse to negotiate an agreement. And you can totally do that. A lot of people do. They agree on things about their kids and about their finances, and they write it in their final paperwork. It's not impossible. It's not an impossible feat. If you delay too long, the court may require that you come in for a status conference update. If that's the case, you got to go to court. Hopefully it'll be, like a teleconference. But if it's not, be prepared to be in court. Usually they want some sort of where are you in the process? How soon do you think you're going to be done? But every court and every judge is different. So you just got to go and answer the questions the best you can. Then once you agree on everything, you've got to submit your judgment package and your judgment paperwork to the court. So yes, you can handle your divorce without an attorney. Should you? Maybe. However, I think every person going through a divorce should enlist the help of an attorney at some point. If you've reached an agreement with your spouse before you've signed that final agreement, pay for an hour of attorney's time. Consult with them. Have them read the agreement. There are a lot of attorneys who offer unbundled legal services who will review your agreement and give you some ideas and give you some advice and give you some tips on how to make the agreement more secure, or maybe you need to change something. So consider, maybe you don't have the funding to retain an attorney, or maybe you don't want to lawyer up and escalate things. So go to an attorney who will review your documents, who will give you legal advice. The other thing is you can hire a legal document assistant. They can help you through the whole process, or maybe just a portion of the process. They know the forms that are supposed to be filed, so they can provide a lot of support. And while they don't do the thinking for you, they take the stress of oh wait, I got another rejection. LDAs get rejections too. They just go and fix them, right? Because courts change their rules. But they can take the stress off of you in terms of, what do I do next? How do I do this now? How do I serve my spouse? So an LDA can really support you in that matter. If you'd love to speak with me further about these issues, I'm open and happy to talk with you. And if you have more questions for Q&A Wednesday, drop them below. Have a great Wednesday.